Hello, everybody. My name is Michel Isnard. I am the Vice President leading the Red Hat sales in Europe, the Middle East, and Africa, and I'm very happy to welcome you at the Red Hat Forum 2020. In the past years, from September to December, I was feeling like a globe trotter, traveling this wide region from north to south and from east to west, delivering keynotes during multiple local forums. I truly enjoyed these moments of co-working, if I can say this way, and I want to thank you all for feeding me and my team with your practical, effective, and successful experiences. This year, I'm traveling at the speed of sound or speed of video, if you want, since I will meet virtually with all of you in one day only. If you joined us for our earlier keynote with Werner Knoblisch, you heard us talking about Red Hat, strategy and vision, and how it can help you address the varied, sometimes oppositional needs of the business. Whether that means traditional infrastructure for highly secure, sensitive information, or edge of network devices for modern interaction with customers, one size does not fit all. We have learned from our multiple discussions with our customers. We have listened proactively to what you shared with us. And right now, maybe one size may not even fit you, because different parts of your organization need different things. The overall landscape has evolved and requires new solutions, new setups. In a few words, it requires change, because change is the name of the game. Change triggers tough decisions, but you all know that successful businesses are the ones who can swallow and take advantage of a change process. In the last slide of Werner's keynote, where we lay out our business strategy, at the heart of this strategy are our customers. We would like to thank all of those customers that put their trust in Red Hat. More than ever, we want to be customer-centered. Just in this event today, we have more than 40 customers represented in the different country sessions. Across the years, we have built and developed our open hybrid cloud value proposition. Thousands of you in EMEA have selected and chosen our platforms. Choosing a cloud technology is crucial, but it's only the first step in a move to cloud strategy. Even more important is to adopt at scale and leverage such technology. When we think about demonstrating the value of the technology, actually we think that the best ambassadors are other customers who have already put in place transformational projects and were successful with their projects. This is why today we want to share with you two conversations I have had in the past few days with some amazing customers to understand their challenges, learn from them, and ultimately they will share how they innovated and how, together with Red Hat, they will transform their businesses. I would like now, therefore, to look at how you, our customers, drive digital transformation and what's next in your change strategies. My first guest is Mario Campolargo. Mario is the Acting Director General of DG Informatics, also known as Digit. Digit's mission is to deliver digital services that support European Commission departments, 45 decentralized agencies and EU institutions, as well as help public administrations work better together. Mario is very passionate about the world of open source, open standards, openness in general. And we will talk about how the European Commission will bring better digitization to the businesses in the region. Hello, Mario. I'm very happy to meet with you, even virtually, but it's really something that I was expecting. I know you are very passionate about open as a mindset, and I know that you often speak at conferences about the importance of open source, interoperability framework, and tools driving transparency, collaboration, and reuse in the Commission, as well as across the member states. So can you please share with us what openness means to you personally and how this manifests itself in Digit's leadership within the Commission and beyond?
Michel, first of all, thank you. Pleasure to talk to you. Pleasure to talk to everybody in this virtual forum. Thank you for the invitation. You challenged me with a very philosophical question. What is openness? And I would say that openness allows, the humanity to progress. A open world is a better world. And openness is important when we build a political project like the European Union, or when we are developing an open system. So, I feel very attached from those two angles to the notion of openness, and count on me to be really one of the voices that support openness, because this is so important. It was already important when I was dealing with the research communities. And for example, we develop open platforms for citizens' engagement in the context of smart cities. Very, very important. But it is now, when I'm now responsible for this IT department of Digit, is an opportunity to apply this concept of openness also in the daily work of the Commission. And open source and collaboration is something that is embedded in the Commission from the very beginning. So I'm very proud that my colleagues are already following on this path. Most important for a public administration, openness links also to trust, and public administrations need to be trusted. The Commission President von der Leyen just announced in the State of the Union that we will go into a digital decade. We couple it with a big reform in Europe on the post-crisis. We couple it with green. And here we see a fabulous mandate to be able to digitalize our industry, our society, while maintaining it green and making the reforms to the society. And that's why public administrations play such an important role. And the target of 20% expenditures on digital for public administrations is so important, because digital public administrations today are the key to make efficient and effective use of the public funds for the good of our society.
Mario, public sector, as you know, is one of our core verticals. When the pandemic just blew out in March, April time, I have been talking to several public sector CIOs, and I got a very wide range of answers coming from, I have to take care of my budget, or I have no budget issue, I have to help the country restart their economy, and therefore I will do what I have to do as a public body. So can you please elaborate how you see European public administrations using more open source and open standards, such as those in the Tallinn Declaration, to accelerate digitization in Europe?
Thanks, Michel. And it's very good that you make a reference to the Tallinn Declaration that brings a number of principles and points that are important to reach this notion of digital government. And what the pandemic brought to us is exactly this notion that we need to accelerate the digitalization of the public administrations to be able to establish a different relation with businesses and citizens. And I'll come to that when I finish my answer to you, because I want to go back to the Tallinn Declaration full of the open, trust, transparency, etc. And to say that this was very inspiring for us when the Commission approved the European Commission digital strategy, and actually very much behind the notion of the interoperability that we consider so important, and regarding which the European interoperability framework is a very important asset for Europe. For us, interoperability amongst public administrations is absolutely key, and it's key because it fosters the cooperation. And the cooperation, as we said, it can be done by the use of open source. It can also be done by the contributions to the open source. So in our remit, we don't see as just trying to put forward a framework for interoperability. We go further and we develop through the ISA Square program or to the Connecting Europe Facility program, the building blocks that you can use and reuse to attain your objectives. So ISA and CEF building blocks are particularly important for us. They are based on openness, based on open standards, and so important for us. And I think that, as I say, I'm a person that is very much hooked into some concrete things. So I'm so glad that your question triggered on me this remembrance of last year's conference, Share and Reuse, because that's a conference where we invite the public administrations to bring open source solutions and share them with the others to make a wider use and therefore attain flexibility. Just last year, we focus on open source solutions. Let me just highlight the three top winners on that one. One that was actually from France, the Open Fiscal, is actually a portal providing to the citizens a view on their fiscal situation. And I think that today we can call it as a social innovation benchmark for all purposes and reasons. Decidim, a platform to engage citizens in smart cities that was born in Spain, is now in more than 10 countries. It even brings a community-oriented governance model, so important. Or even the example of Oslo that, although makes immediately a reference to Norway, is actually a Flemish solution because it stands for open standards for local administrations, and is the result of the local administration experts to getting together to define how can they ensure the interoperability between the various services. But I could have mentioned just a few weeks ago the Digital Innovation Challenge, a challenge to the innovation ecosystem that is target to GovTech. Michel, with the challenge that we are with the digital society, with the multiple is the complexity of the challenge that we are addressing this world, from green to environment to all of that. The challenges that are faced by the public administrations are bigger than ever. They will not be able to develop on their own the services. They have to co-create them with the citizens and with the GovTech community, with the innovation ecosystem. And for that, openness and standards that are open are absolutely key. So a digital public administration will require openness to be able to be transparent in the use, for example, of artificial intelligence, or in using and giving open data for others to use. And this ecosystem of innovation around the public administrations is key for our future.
Thank you, Mario. The challenge is obviously immense, and I see you're already investigating in plenty of directions. It's really exciting. So maybe this is a good segue to the last question. Our mission at Red Hat is to act as a catalyst for the open source way. I can see also that the European Commission, and specifically Digit, have embraced this open culture. You just launched your 5th iteration of the open source strategy. So can you please elaborate more on this initiative and the many others like ISA Square, which drive more and more open source collaboration and creating an ever larger developer community around digital services?
Michel, you are absolutely right. We just announced the new open source strategy, and I would characterize it as actually reinforcing the internal culture that is already largely based on the principles of open source. You know that in our data center, for example, we use Linux and Apache and MySQL, SQL, and PHP as the normal open source stacks. You also know for sure that in the Commission, when we talk about websites, we widely use Drupal. Actually, I'm particularly proud that amongst our collaborators, we have one of the largest communities developing Drupal 8. So that's very good. We also, as you will understand, have made available through our internal store of solutions, Firefox or LibreOffice or any other solutions like GIMP or VI or Emacs that for some specific uses are very much appreciated by our developers or by our community. But above all, what I want to say here is that this new strategy encourages not just the use, but the contribution to the developers community from our own side. We want to reflect, we will include in our innovation lab what we can call an open source lab that will allow us to experiment with solutions and test their adequacy for the purpose that they have been designed and how we need to use it. This is very important to enable our friendly interaction with the private and public sector to test new solutions. You know that we have developed a lot of solutions and they are available. I cannot excuse myself if I don't refer, for example, solutions like the EU Survey, an online, multilingual, open source, actually free of charge, web-based solution for consultations that is widely used around Europe, or the LEWOS, that is a legislation editing open software that will allow the ones that are involved in drafting legislation here in the Commission, but possibly in other member states or other institutions, to use this common tool. And we are particularly attentive to the fact that we need to populate and help people to use solutions. So we have launched this open source observatory, in short, OSOR, that is precisely making this available to all the others. And I'm pretty sure that with the new strategy, by removing the legal barriers to the process of publishing software that is developed by our own community internally, you will see more and more solutions, more and more PHP scripts or libraries that you can use. So in a nutshell, what this strategy takes is talk about where we are and reinforces our internal working culture that will actually have, therefore, a very positive impact in the way we address the open source, not just in its use, but more than anything else, on contributing to this movement and making our solutions available for use and reuse by the public administrations.
Mario, I'm impressed. I'm really impressed. What you are just describing is very inspirational. I see many initiatives taken, and what you do, what the Digit do, what the European Commission is kind of triggering and fostering is extremely inspirational. So thank you very much for being such an ambassador of open source, openness, more generally speaking. I would like really to thank you for dedicating this time to our Red Hat Forum. I think that all our attendees will really appreciate. And with this, I just hope to see you soon in person as soon as possible after the COVID is gone. My second guest is Orhan Biyiklioglu, Cloud Engineering Manager at Turkcell. With more than 35 million subscribers and 99% population coverage in Turkey, Turkcell is obviously a leading mobile operator in Turkey and the surrounding region. At the heart of the service provider's ambitions for global growth is its digital services and software-defined operational models, as it looks to respond more quickly to dynamic customer demands. Moving away from a hardware-oriented, vendor-dependent architecture, Turkcell set out plans in 2016 to have 40% of its services virtualized and running on a flexible cloud infrastructure by the end of 2019. This evolution would help the company increase revenue by offering its services, such as BIP, the lifestyle and communication platform, as well as Livebox, a personal cloud storage solution, through new digital channels. Additionally, Turkcell sought to prepare for the introduction of 5G wireless technology to the market. Hello, Orhan. I'm very happy to see you today on stage or on a virtual stage for this Red Hat 2020 forum. How are you?
Hello, Michel. Thanks. It's good to see you as well, although virtually. Also, thanks for having me for this panel.
Thank you. So, well, at Turkcell, and since I know you,
You have always been innovative as a company, moving forward with transformational projects. And I would like to ask you the first question related to this. As a market innovator, how important was it to partner with an organization like Red Hat who could provide scalable infrastructure for building hybrid clouds? That's the first part of the question. And the second part of the question is, what were you looking for?
Okay. Being in a highly competitive sector, telcos have to deploy the latest technologies and solutions to remain successful in the market. As you have stated, Turkcell has been known as a market innovator, and actually that's the case from the very beginning. For me, this is due to our investments and work in a bunch of different areas. For example, as the leading telecom operator in Turkey, we have been transforming our carrier networking space. That's why we ended up building a huge NFT infrastructure to optimize and innovate our networking services. Besides that, we have also been creating different digital services for our customers, like instant messaging, video streaming, and personal cloud storage services. And such services require highly scalable and resilient architectures and new generation cloud technologies. And as you know, these technologies are highly complex and highly challenging technologies. So having trusted partners to support you along this journey is actually very important.
Orhan, thank you very much for this pretty clear answer about the project that you conducted. And I'd like to know a little bit more about this. So projects of this type and scale can be very challenging. So can you share with us what challenges and solutions you discovered and solved on your journey?
Of course, most of the new technologies in the cloud ecosystem, like most other areas, are being built around open source communities and technologies. And most of the time, there is a learning curve associated with them. Unfortunately, the capabilities and skills around these technologies is not in abundance everywhere. So if you are building solutions and services around these technologies, either you will have to take your time to build the necessary skills, or you will work with partners that already had these skills. That was one of the challenges we also had, and collaborated with Red Hat to overcome.
All right. Yeah. I mean, talent acquisition and retention, the strength and the skills of the ecosystem are definitely key success factors. So talking about success, I am assuming that with such a large project, you had a set of KPIs to measure the progress and then the success of the project. So what was the KPI that you decided to achieve in order to be able to say we were successful? And what is the outcome of your project after overcoming challenges?
These were actually very big projects, so there were a bunch of different KPIs for each project, but the common ones was, as always, it's the faster time to market and reduced costs. These were the common ones. So by building scalable and resilient architectures and by using technologies like OpenStack, OpenShift, we have actually achieved what we looked for, and we've actually created significant cost savings while improving our agility to respond faster to customer demand.
Well, cost savings, better agility, I think that these are good achievements. As you know, the theme of Red Hat Forum this year is what's next. And we are all unfortunately, in these times of unprecedented change. So if I would ask the question to Turkcell, what's next for Turkcell? What could you share with us?
We are actually seeing a very big uptake with new generation applications and cloud native technologies, both internally in Turkcell and also at the customer side. So it seems that building cloud infrastructures is going to be very important in the upcoming future as well. And it seems we will need to build even more agile, hugely scalable, and much more resilient cloud infrastructures to facilitate future workloads and to actually improve our business. Of course, these will be done with our partners and the broader ecosystem.
Yeah, I think that, as we are used to say, we are stronger together. That's one of the Red Hat mottos. I mean, just saying that these projects and technologies are requiring a very high level of skills, of commitment, and of collaboration at all levels, I would say. So, I mean, you can definitely count on us as part of your ecosystem to support you moving forward with the next steps of the transformation. Orhan, thank you very much for sharing with us your project, your challenges, and what are the next steps. I would like really to thank you a lot, because I know that in these times of uncertainty, being flexible, being agile, being ready to utilize new means of communication is kind of adding to our challenges. So thank you very much. And my commitment to you is, as soon as possible, I will be in Istanbul, meeting with you in person and having the opportunity to continue this conversation. Thanks again. So, what did we hear from Mario and Orhan? We heard that at the scale of a continent, Europe, open source, open standards, openness are now the default choice for a multitude of information technology decision makers, since these approaches and ideas are at the origin of multiple ambitious European transformational projects. We also heard that innovation, agility, and change processes are the answers for successful companies to an ever more competitive landscape. In a nutshell, we heard Mario and Orhan sharing with us what's next for their organizations, and they told us where Red Hat can and will help. These are only two of the many stories from our customers, and you will find many more during today's session in different countries and languages. With this, I wish you a great Red Hat Forum 2020.